I'm really excited to be here, guys. As Jonas said, I'm the creative one, the crazy one, and I tend to be very, very fast-speaking. But I'm going to really take this opportunity. I have 15 minutes here to talk about the power of great experiences. And I've been working for Adobe 2 times, and this is the second time I'm at Adobe here at Adobe Nordic, leading the solutions consulting team. We call them solutions consultants, but they are actually product specialists in everything related to Creative Cloud, Enterprise, and our transformation that we're doing now with the cloud services that we have. So digital, we're going to talk about digital, how it's never been easier than it is today, and how it's become the norm, and how it's actually raised expectations. But also, it's the complexity in a way that none of us has ever thought about we would be experiencing. And this is the area of what we call the connected consumer. Our colleague, Tony Markovsky from Adobe, is going to be talking about the connected consumer later on in the session. And people today are basically consuming more content across more devices than ever before in our history. Sometimes they're consuming all that content on multiple devices and all at once, and they expect to work from anywhere. And they expect everything to work just the way they want, instantly and easily. In many ways, we have what we call Generation Z. I call it Generation Smart for smartphone. This is the generation, the eldest of that generation is probably around 15 years old now. I have 2 of those at home, the young, 3 and 1.5. And basically, this is the generation, that first generation that's grown up with smartphones, hence smart. And they're leading the way we as consumers, we as adults, they're leading the way how we're working, how we engaging with information on mobile. At the same time, you have this explosion of data flowing through devices, servers, and clouds, and whatnot. And more is known about us right now than ever before. We have basically our demographics, our purchase history, our location, our browsing behavior online. All that information, the interactions that we do with wearables, with cars, with houses, with refrigerator, all of that is actually being gathered somehow. And this flood of data, I'm pretty sure quite a lot of you guys here have actually encountered that in your workflow as creatives, as business professionals, as knowledge workers. You've encountered that flood of information, and it's a massive, massive amount of data, and you want to act on it, right? And we need to basically take this opportunity to look at it as a tremendous, tremendous opportunity for us to target and understand the impact of these digital experiences that's been around in all this flood of data. And our great speaker, Ida Sandberg, she's from Nordic Choice Hotels. She's going to be here, and she's going to talk about how she just did this, right? Her journey, how she sees the opportunity to really act on the data, and how she met the customers in their arena and their channels, and how she made the impact in their digital experiences. These changes with consumer behavior and with the explosion of data, and that has created what we call, as you guys know about these terms, right? The digital disruption that we're seeing now is because of that. For all businesses around here, people need to try to transform themselves, right? And the entire industries can actually be wiped out because of this disruptions that's happened, right? We've seen situations happening all the time. And this disruption is happening, it's really, really basic. It's happening sometimes just because of a well-designed application. Just look at Uber. That Uber app disrupted the whole transportation industry. That's been going on for 100 years or so. How you take someone from A to B, and someone gives you money for it, pay you for taking you from A to B. They just took an app and basically transformed the whole industry. And they plan to transform the whole transportation industry, not only pushing people from A to B. So that's what's going on in today's digital landscape. And we're going to hear our great speaker, Aaron Levine, is going to be talking more about this whole Uber thing, how about this whole disruption thing. You'll hear real-world examples of how companies are taking this flood of data, taking this connected consumer, taking this digital disruption, and taking it further. So the disruption of our computing and business landscape has led to one of today's top buzzword. We call it digital transformation. Jonas mentioned at the outset Adobe's own digital transformation that happened around 5 years ago. We're in the middle of it. We're actually just writing it out. The digital arena forced us pretty much, the digital landscape, the speed at the changes that's happened, forced Adobe to transform itself, to disrupt itself. Adobe pretty much disrupted itself and created all these cloud experiences. Instead of just pushing our software in boxes and shiny things, CD-ROMs and DVDs and so on, we're transforming ourselves to a software as a service company. As you're going to be able to enjoy the experience that we're going to talk about later on today. So all of this, the massive dynamic that affects everyone, virtually every part of your business, your infrastructure, your processes, your systems, your business models, your go-to-market, your strategies, your customer touch points, all of that is touched by this digital transformation that's going on right now. Oftentimes when we talk about buzzwords like that, it gets very naggy, it gets very boring. But today, we're sitting here, all of you, at the end of the day, at the end of the half of the day we're going to spend together, our plan is for you guys to come out of here feeling much more knowledgeable about ideas, how you can take some of your business processes and interactions and take it further. So that's the plan. And we have also a panel later on discussing this from various vantage points. Really knowledgeable panel attendees coming here to really share their experiences. So all of these dynamics are really important. But at Adobe, we really believe that standout customer experience is really what drives meaningful, measurable impact and transforming how you do your business. So standout and effective experience have become more critical than ever in today's market landscape. And what we at Adobe, you heard it probably first today. At Adobe, we are normally 5 years ahead, and we're seeing that we've now entered what's been labeled by our analysts the experience economy. We're inside the experience economy era now. Everything is about customer experiences. Powerful experiences, they change the way we impact, we interact, we entertain, we work, we relate to the world around us. It can be one-to-one, it can be me to you, friends. It can be co-workers, it can be family, it can be them collaborating together or engaging on social media. Or it can be one-to-many. It can be businesses to consumers, it can be business to business, it can be teacher to students, it can be government to citizen, it can be artist to audience. You get the idea. So it's experiences are how you can break through the noise that's out there. This flood of data, this mobile device, this mobile first, this information going on everywhere. But we're here to talk, I've been given this task to talk about, really give you some ideas. What makes a great customer experience? I just made it so it's very straightforward. And throughout the day, you're going to see the link between this stuff that I'm talking about, even in the panel, even in the other speakers raising sharing their experiences and raising your knowledge to a point. So great experience shares 4 critical qualities. According to Adobe, this is how we see it. It needs to be compelling to capture customers' interest and draw them in. It needs to look beautiful. It needs to be dynamic. It needs to display nicely and perfectly across all devices. And for example, if you have a hotel campaign for a luxurious hotel brand, and you have only a few seconds to grab the consumer's attention and get them thinking about a tropical vacation, take away their minds and dream away from the snowy, gloomy weather in Sweden to a tropical holiday. You have a couple of seconds to do that. So it needs to be very compelling to draw them in. It needs to be personal. Jonas was talking about personalization is really key to this whole experience thing. You don't want to just be just one person that, in a generic way, can consume an information. You want to be able to feel that this information is personal, is targeted towards you. We need to understand who the customer is, where they are, what they like. For example, Coca-Cola as you saw in the video, it was a brief demonstration in the video, how they let their consumers favorite mixes, and they serve them on their custom soda machine with just one click, because they know this guy likes a bit sour, a bit a bit sugary, and that mix is something that we don't package. But for that individual guy, I'll give that guy the ability through an app and through a machine to do that. So today, we're seeing that increasing amount of users willing to give us, as companies, to give us as much data as possible, if we can convince them, if they feel convinced that all the data they give the personal data they give us, if they can get an extra special experience, an extra personal experience, they don't mind. Recent research has shown that quite a lot of people are like that, too close to myself, and like this, with all this data flowing and all these customers, research asking for information, how you like this, how you like that. Some people are like this, but there are a lot of people, according to research, sharing the information if the experience is an extra special experience, personalized. So we are now, we want better mobile notification. We want more actionable emails. We're busy people. We want action. We don't want to have too much fluff around, right? We want hyper-tailored, super-tailored content and recommendations. We want things to happen automatically for you as users. But the important thing as a business, you can give them that. You can give them all this automation. As long as you make sure that you give them control to change things. They should be able to control things. And it needs to be useful. It needs to be useful so people can get things done really fast. They're very busy people. They want to be on the move. They want to move from this thing to the next thing. Whatever digital experience they're doing, they want to move on, right? For example, we allow someone to sign a contract, as Johan was saying, with our e-sign services, on a mobile device from a train, anywhere, right? Without paper copies and courier services. And it needs to be everywhere. We're talking about mobile first. We talk about people having smartphones and being able to access the web. And we want to be able to reach people at the moment where they're working, watching, purchasing, or doing whatever it is they're doing, whatever touch points you guys want to touch, and make that experience as personalized as an experience as possible. The package is very important. So these 4 pillars here is really, really, really important to really take home. From an Adobe perspective, our approach is that we're building great customer experiences by continuing to really do our transition. This is the delivery of 5 years of transition. We're going to mix content with data to be able to really, really give you guys the opportunity to do amazing things. Whether if you're a startup or if you're actually a business that's been around for a long time, if you mix content with data, you'll be able to really, really take this experience to the next level. You'll have solutions for that. Later on in the next session, me and my colleague Tommy will be able to take you through a one Adobe workflow, so to speak, that takes you through Photoshop all the way into Marketing Cloud for analytics and stuff. So this foundation that Adobe has, basically, in content and data, we've developed 3 clouds, and Jonas was saying basically the 3 clouds. And Creative Cloud, Document Cloud. I don't have to go through it because Jonas did it so nicely at the outset. But Creative Cloud is the creative part of the business that's been around for 30-odd years. Document Cloud has been also around for 30-odd years because that's PDF technologies. That's the portfolio of secure digital document solutions platforms that we have. That's been around for ages, riding on top of PDF. PDF, we invented it, and we've let it go as a standard. So it's where you have a lot of disruption happening there that we've disrupted ourselves, is moving towards getting those document solutions on mobile devices, as Jonas was saying. Data, we have Bernie and Adam here from our Marketing Cloud team that's going to take you through that as well. So all of this information is what we have in terms of how we're going to take your customer experience to the next level. And today, it's not about, this is about what we're talking about. It's not about fire and forgetting. It's not about just doing something creating something nice. Wow, this is a nice phone, or this is a nice campaign, this is a nice banner. It's about making it. It's about managing it. It's about measuring it, optimizing it, and go and repeat and rinse and repeat. That's how you get at the customer experience that we're talking about. So, from an Adobe perspective, we are able to really, really give you and help you build customer experiences that stand out, that really stands out, and that takes away all these noises. You know, you're just trying to give us all this data, and we have solutions that take you this data, take all this data to actually put them into a package. You know, package the experience that you need to reach your customer touch points in a very cost-effective way. So with that, I'm going to wrap up here. And in the next session that I'm going to talk about, it's going to be much more, instead of the strategic level up here, it's going to be much more deep dive into the solutions. And me and my colleague, Tommy Luthinen, we're going to be able to take you through content velocity. Sorry, Jonas, 1 minute over, but you were way over as well.
Okay, sorry about that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Johan. Good work. So, before you leave, Johan, just a quick one. Do we have any questions from the audience to Johan now, or would you like, you can also submit them on Twitter, of course, because then you will get the chance to win. Okay? Okay, thank you, Johan. See you later. Okay, perfect. So
we have one question on Twitter, in fact. And it's from Emma Baumann, who says, one thing I want to know today is how could I, as a project manager at a digital agency, use Adobe's great tools in my work?
Can you repeat that again? Sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How could I, as a project manager at a digital agency, use Adobe's great tools in my work?
How can I, as a project manager at a creative agency, use Adobe's tool to do creative work? Right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to take it from the digital media perspective, because that's where I have my expertise. You know, from a digital media perspective, we're talking about something that's happening right now. Content marketing and content, everything is content. Content marketing, content production, content, we call it content velocity here at Adobe. Velocity, we mean the ability for people to really create great content, but as fast as possible. And that's what Tommy and I are going to talk about later on. And at the creative agencies, you're a project manager. You can really start with Creative Cloud Enterprise, and you basically have everything you need in there. From a Creative Cloud Enterprise perspective, what I'm talking about is the typical Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. We put together a technology that we call Creative Sync, which is at the heart of everything we're doing now at Adobe. The Creative Sync technology allows you to pretty much create great content, but have an amazing, efficient workflow between designers, developers, you know, artists, freelancers, whatever people working on that same project. But you don't leave the tools that you're normally accustomed to work with. You don't have to actually, you know, go outside of your tool, your favorite tool, and you can work really nicely. So we're going to talk about that later on. But I hope you'll see an example of that later on, so I don't have to take too much of your time, Jonas. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Johan. Thanks a lot.